Hey everybody who clicked on this video. We're here to talk about how much of a cluster F of bad ideas the Battlefield 2042 beta was. The amount of bad ideas in this game are insane. Now, Battlefield always has one or two bad ideas, right? And that's fine. However, this many bad ideas is insane. So we're going to talk about all of them. Now, I didn't script this. This is all just free-form me talking. However, I did prepare a long list of notes. So, I did not have fun with the beta, really at all. 99% of my time there, I was trying to enjoy it. I was like, yeah, let me have some optimism about this. Let me go in there. Let me try to like the game. Did not at all. Except for one thing. I had a lot of fun with one thing in the game and one thing only. The anti-aircraft vehicle. I don't know what it was, but that anti-aircraft vehicle was super fun. I just love driving that thing around, like shooting it at all the helicopters in the air, but we'll return to that later. So I'm going to be comparing Battlefield 2042's beta to my experiences in my two favorite Battlefields. That will be Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 1. Those are my two favorites. You might have different favorites, but those are the two that I love playing. Alright? So let's talk about something that really doesn't matter, the graphics. Now, I've seen a lot of complaints about the graphics, and I have to agree. The graphics don't really look better than any other. Now, I am playing on Xbox One. Like I said, the graphics don't really look better than any other Battlefield. They kind of look worse in many cases. And I don't know if it's just because I'm playing on an Xbox One, but I think it's also a combination of what we are looking at, right? Like in Battlefield 1, you were looking at Victorian-era buildings, right? And Victoria-era buildings, I know because my house is one, have a lot of detail, right? They have a lot of little detail, and they are very nice to look at, right? You look at modern buildings. Modern buildings are ugly, all right? They are bland, slab-side, and just kind of just bad to look at. And, you know, and that translates to a video game as well. You go look at, you know, a Victorian-era building, like Battlefield 1, like, go look at Battlefield 1's buildings, right? And then go look at this game's buildings. Just modern stuff is boring to look at, and it looks bad. So that's probably why people are saying the graphics look bad, right? It's because what we are looking at. So, those buildings are on a map. And that map, I think it was called Orbital or something, with the rocket launch. That map is terrible. The map that they showcased was terrible. Alright, it was, let's make a map so people die to helicopters all the time. That is what I died to nearly all the time. It was dying to helicopters because there was very little cover, right? If you were not using a vehicle to move from objective to objective, you're dying to a helicopter, or a sniper, or a tank. But mostly helicopters I've died from in this beta. Now, comparing that to Battlefield 1's beta, which, you know, they used the map Sinai Desert, that beta map was great. Sinai Desert is a great map. It has everything. You know, it had large open spaces for you to die by aircraft. It had close quarters, like really good close quarters combat spots. Sinai Desert was great. I don't know if Bad Company 2 had a beta. I didn't play Bad Company 2 when it came out. I got, like, I think several months after, but I played a lot of Bad Company 2. So, yeah, there was helicopters in that game. And something I've noticed about the helicopters in Bad Company 2 versus the helicopters in Battlefield 2042. You can't shoot them down with your gun. Like, you need a heavy weapon, like even the little birds. Like, shooting at them, unless you hit the pilot, it does nothing. That is a far cry from Bad Company 2, because in Bad Company 2, what I used to do, because there was no lock-on missile launcher besides the little dart gun, try and hit a helicopter with that thing. Alright, what I used to do is I used to just take the 50 caliber sniper rifle, the M95, the bolt action 50 cal they had, because they didn't have the semi-auto in Bad Company 2, and I would just take that thing and just keep shooting the helicopter, and you could kill it with the 50 caliber rifle. I think you could kill it with like any gun in Bad Company 2. You could do damage to a helicopter. This game, it doesn't have that. It doesn't even seem that you can damage like the like kind of Humvee style things with your gun either. I'm like, what is going on here? You know, that just felt awful. You know, not being able to, you know, even damage them at all unless I had a missile launcher, and it's just like, no. So, what else was on the map? Oh, the tornado. That's kind of like the big gimmick thing, you know, like Battlefield 3 and 4, it was Levolution, and Battlefield 1 had the behemoths, and no idea what Battlefield 5's gimmick was. I guess it was attrition. I don't know. What was Battlefield 5's gimmick? I don't remember. Battlefield 1 also had the cavalry. That was really cool. Right, this gimmick, it's a map hazard, and I'm just like, oh, an annoyance. It was more just it was like, look at this big tornado. I'm just like, okay, I've seen tornadoes in games before. I've seen things that lift you up in the air. I mean, World of Warcraft had that, you know, games from like 2000s had that. Yeah, it's not that crazy. So, what else can we talk about? The guns. Most of them felt awful, and some of them felt terrible. Now, my main complaint is that most of the guns, 99% of the guns used, the assault rifles, the LMG, and that semi-automatic DMR kind of gun, they had no recoil. They are basically laser beams. They basically stayed perfectly still whenever you were shooting them. Maybe they had a little bit of recoil, but it was not like Battlefield style where you have to learn to control the recoil kind of gameplay. That felt awful as well. That felt completely terrible. I like games where you have to control the recoil. You have to learn the gun, you know? Bad Company 2 had a good amount of recoil. I remember, especially when you were hip firing. Like, hip firing Bad Company 2 was all over the place. Like, the gun would recoil like crazy, especially the XM8 little carbine thing. Because I really like that gun in Bad Company 2. Me talking about this just makes me want to play Bad Company 2. God, is that a good game. Yeah, and like I said, whenever a gun has no recoil, whenever you have a game with a gun, or guns, that have no recoil, they feel limp. They feel like, you know, why? Well, some guns did have recoil. Like I said, the ones that had recoil were the SMGs. The SMGs had a crazy amount of recoil. Like, they recoiled like they were 308, like, it's like mind-boggling. Like, it was like, because I tried using the one, it's like the SMG-45. Well, in real life, it'd be the LWRC SMG-45, because I know the guns. And, you know, it looks like a AR chambered in 45 ACP. And it was like, that one I tried using, that had recoil. The Vector had recoil. The assault rifles did not. The LMG did not. And then I tried using the bolt action, and oh my god, I have never felt a worse bolt action in a game. Holy crap, did that thing feel bad to use. It felt like you were firing a potato. It felt like a potato gun. Now, the damage on it was good. It was standard Battlefield, 2 hits to kill, you know, gun. But the velocity seemed even lower than Battlefield 4, and Battlefield 4 had a very low velocity on sniper rifles, and a lot of drop. This was like, I swear you were firing a potato gun. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not a sniper rifle, maybe it's like a medium range gun. And I tried gunning with it, right? And I was pretty good at running gunning. Like, I was really good at using bolt actions in Battlefield 1. I know that's not really much, but, you know, even in Bad Company 2, I could still, you know, aggressive scout. This game, no. I don't know what it was. It was a combination of just the gun felt bad to use, and, like, the hit registration was terrible. So the gunplay is awful. However, I have seen people saying the gunplay was good, and I've noticed that every single person that has said the gunplay is really good plays on PC. And usually they also play Call of Duty on PC, and they say the gunplay is good. That's basically what I've heard, or what I've seen. I've watched a whole bunch of other people kind of review this thing as well. And it's mainly, like, Battlefield players are not liking this game. Call of Duty players are liking this game. We'll get on to that later. So, I'm going to give you the next reason, and the entire reason I will not be buying this game. The operators. The operators are like 16 or like 5, 10, they have so many problems. This is not working, alright? The operators are terrible. The way they're set up is so bad. It is mind-boggling that this was let through into development. Okay, as everyone else has said, the first problem is that both sides Use the exact same operators. Both sides look exactly the same. They are not faction bound. So you will have the same, you can have entire teams on both sides filled with the same guy. And I can't tell you how many times I tried shooting at a guy thinking it was an enemy. I was like, oh, well, they have the dots among them. No, that's not... Putting dots on people does not work. They need to have fast recognition. How does that work? Uniforms. That is how it works. You look at every other shooter. Uniforms, alright? You look at Battlefield 1. You look at any World War II game, right? Oh, I know the Germans. They're gray. I see a gray guy, that's most likely a German. The green, American. Tan, British. Alright? Even in fantasy games, you look at Command & Conquer Renegade. Very good game. If you know what Command & Conquer Renegade is, you had a good childhood, right? Command & Conquer Renegade basically figured this out in 2002. 2002. Both GDI and NOD both had... They basically had operators. You basically had operators like Battlefield, except they were faction-bound, and they looked very different. NOD was black and red. All of their guys looked like, basically, sci-fi Nazis. In a way. Alright? You knew who you were looking at when you saw a NOD character. Alright? They were red. Or black. Red and black. And you knew who you were looking at when you saw GDI, because they were yellow and tan, and kind of blue sometimes. Depending. How is it a game made 19 years ago can do something, can figure something out, and a current game can't? And I know it's like, oh, they did this so they can sell you skins. Well, they're not going to be selling me any skins because I'm not buying the game. And the other problem here, another problem, is class role. Like, what is the role of each operator, right? And the problem with that I'll get into is the weapons. The weapons, if the weapons were operator bound, like certain operators can use certain weapons, only certain weapons, that wouldn't be a problem. All right, that would eliminate several of the problems, because there's no role in this game. You have no role. Like in previous Battlefields, Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 1, all right, you had very distinct roles. Okay, Battlefield, Bad Company 2. The Assault. The Assault had grenade launcher, and he also had the ammo, right? Bad Company 2 was set up really weird. You had the Engineer. The Engineer had carbines and submachine guns and the rocket launcher. He had the RPG. He had the Carl Gustav. He had the AT-4, right? And yeah, then you get to the support, and the support was very weird in Bad Company 2 because the light machine gunner also had the med, was the reviver. All right, that eventually changed in Battlefield 3 and 4 for the Assault to be the reviver. You know, the healer. All right, and then you had the Scout, which was the recon. You had, like, you know, several things that would help you with recon. All right, it's like, oh, well, I want to be a Scout, but I want to do this, and it was like, okay, Bad Company 2 figured this out, and it had several weapons that didn't really fit into any role, any class, right? So it made them all kit. Like, oh, well, there was the G3, the Thompson, the M1 Garand, if you were a previous Battlefield player, and the M14, and the shotguns, right? And you could put those on any kit, right? So it's like, oh, I want to be a recon with a shotgun, right? You could do that. The shotguns are all kit because they didn't really fit anywhere. The Thompson was all kit just because it didn't fit anywhere. The M14 was all kit because it didn't fit anywhere. But the sniper still had sniper rifles as its main weapon. The light machine gunner support basically always had a light machine gun. This game, you can have a medic character with a sniper rifle and an anti-aircraft missile launcher. That's what I made. I was like, wow, what is my character's role? Am I supposed to be shooting down aircraft, mainly shooting down aircraft? Am I supposed to be in the back sniping, or am I supposed to be reviving people? It's idiotic how they have this set up. That's all I can say. They have it it's set up idiotically. And speaking of reviving, I got revived once during this entire beta. I played every day. I got revived once. Alright? People complained about not being revived in Battlefield 1. This is worse. Like, this makes the medics in Battlefield 1 look like, you know, like all-star players. Alright? And then we have to talk about just taking things from Call of Duty and Crysis. Alright? Like, I've seen people... This is amazing to me. It's like the kind of like chills. I'm going to call them that. I'm just going to call them chills. Alright? Saying that the menu system where you customize your weapon, they're like, oh wow, this is such an amazing feature. I'm like, yeah, Crysis did that back in 2007. People are like, oh, this is so innovative. I'm like, 2007, Crysis did that. And, oh wait, modifying your guns on the fly in a menu system? Oh wait, a PlayStation 2 game did that. Alright? Extermination on the PS2 did that. You could modify your M4 into anything you wanted. I had, like... It's not innovative. It's like, why? I couldn't stand it. It was like, okay, this works in Crysis and Extermination because they're single player games. This doesn't work in the middle of a multiplayer game. Like, customizing your weapon in Battlefield used to be when you were dead, right? You're like, okay, I died. Okay, so I need a different weapon. Not in the middle of combat. You're not gonna switch out everything. Oh my god, I just have so many problems. That's what you're gonna talk about. The controls? We'll talk about the controls. You're running too fast. Oh, another thing they just straight up took from Call of Duty, the movement. The movement is way, way faster than any previous Battlefield. Especially Bad Company 2. Like, Bad Company 2, you did not run very fast. Right? Bad Company 2 had very slow running. You could run forever, but it was very slow. This game, it's like, hey, be Call of Duty. It's like they literally took stuff from Modern Warfare 2019. Like, they had the regular sprint and the super sprint straight from Call of Duty. It's just like, too many things from Call of Duty. I want to play Battlefield. I do not want to play Call of Duty Field, right? It's just like, it's like if you ordered a burger. It's like, hey, I'd like a burger. And then they bring your meal out and it's a Reuben. It's like, they're like, oh, a Reuben's better. Like, yeah, try the Reuben. It's really good. I did not want a Reuben. I wanted a burger. Alright? Burger. I come here, I get burger every time. Alright? Burger, 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 burger. If I wanted a Reuben, I would go order the Reuben. You understand what I mean? Innovation for the sake of innovation, especially this much, like, completely flipping the game on its head, it's just bad. Alright? What else can we talk about? Oh, the controls. So, controls felt bad. They were really floaty. I don't know how to make it feel. Like, flying a plane felt bad. Flying a helicopter, the way I can describe flying a helicopter in this game, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, it didn't feel like you were flying a helicopter. It felt like you were in a helicopter that was being suspended on a string. That's the best way I can explain it. Like there was a string pulling your helicopter. Like, it wasn't flying, it was like... I forget the word for... suspended. Being suspended. It was like suspended in air, not flying. If that makes sense. What else? Oh, the anti-aircraft vehicle. So, this kind of goes into the map again. So, I love the anti-aircraft vehicle in this game. That's the only redeeming feature of this game, is the anti-aircraft vehicle. Because, one, it was pretty fast. Two, I just like shooting down the aircraft because I noticed, if you had one person that was dedicated to anti-aircraft, your team would win. Yep, if you had one person that was just sitting in the back, what I did, I found like a spot where the helicopters couldn't get you. I could just sit there and just shoot down helicopters. My team won every time I did that. Every time. That's not good balance. If the person who's shooting down, like, denial of helicopter causes one side to win. That's bad. That's really bad. Like, you shouldn't need one element to win. It was insane. Yeah, so I'm going to end it here. It's been almost 20 minutes. I think if you agree with me, put it down below. If you don't, well, I don't care if you don't agree with me, because I'm not buying the game. Another time I'm not buying a Battlefield, because I am picky with my Battlefields, alright? I am not a person who buys Battlefield every time. I am picky with Battlefields. It has to be good. It has to have a good setting. Oh, I want to talk about the setting. Just really... the setting was boring, okay? Like, I don't understand the setting. It's like they're not fighting for a country, but we're fighting for the United States and Russia, and it's just like, oh, hey, You should have did what I said and made Battlefield Tiberium Wars. Oh my god, it was so easy. EA owns both. They own Battlefield. They own Command and Conquer. Battlefield Tiberium Wars. Oh my god, it's so easy. It would sell bajillions. Why do you have to be dumb and make this weird setting that doesn't make sense? Alright. See everybody later. Bye.